when I start recording, that means that everybody needs to participate and to be silent, because when we get through this, the recording is going to be placed in the LMS so that if you missed a class, you can catch up on your own personal time. Bella, don't bother with me right now. I teaching. Stop. Jesus, peace, man. I recording and the cat decides now that she wants to come and sit in my lap. Thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, so please remember to keep your microphone closed until I ask you a question. And most of your answers are going to be coming in through the Quizzes portal. So please, grade 7, do not, I repeat, do not, I repeat, do not open your microphones until I give you permission to do so. Okay? Okay, so is everybody in Quizzes now? Yes, Tamia? There are 27 of you and only 18 participants. Y'all know I don't like that. Okay, so now I am going to start today's lesson on writing a narrative. I decided to go back to square one because I feel as though I was not clear enough in our first session. And if it's not clear enough in our first session, I noticed that some of you had issues completing the assignment. And we don't want that. We actually want you all to perform extremely well. So today we're going to do writing a narrative. So let's learn how to write a good story that engages our readers. Number 1, we're starting off with a question. Everybody ready? The word narrative is related to the term narrator. Yes or no? True or false? Okay, time is up. All right, let's see what the answers are. Okay, we're looking good. We have one. Yay! Nobody answered it incorrectly. That makes me so happy. Yes, it is related to the word narrator. Let's go on to the next one. Let's see if who's paying attention or who was paying attention in class and in literature. What are the 5 elements of a narrative? Choose 5 options. Let's see who's smart. Come on, guys. Time is running out. Let's go. 23 people. 1 second left. Oh, time is up. Okay, guys. So there are 5 options and only 5 answers you could have gotten. And if you chose all 5, then you are correct. So all 17 of you who said setting, and then you went on to say plot, theme, characters, and conflict. These are all the 5 main elements of a narrative. Yeah.
Excuse me, miss. I don't have the code.
The code is on the screen. Do you see it? If you had come in on time, you would have seen it. Next time, don't interrupt me teaching to tell me you don't have the code. You have to look at the screen to see what you're seeing, just to make sure that you have it correct, okay? Don't do that again. If you come in late, observe, and then if you're still lost, raise your hand. I can still see if you raise your hand, but do not scream out in my class again. Okay, now, from here, we have another set of questions. Let's move on to the next slide. Writing the narrative is all about telling the story. When we tell a story, we have many types of narratives, but for the purposes of this class, today we are only going to focus on 2. A personal narrative is telling a story from your point of view based on a life experience, okay? So when you write a personal narrative, you are talking about yourself and your experiences. Nothing more, nothing less. You are relating your experiences to the reader. Then we also have a fictional narrative, which is a story that is made up, okay? Now, you can make up a fictional narrative that also sounds personal, but for the purposes of our lesson, we are going to treat personal narratives as though they are real life experiences and fictional narratives as though they are things that are strange and that very rarely happen. Now, the first thing we need to consider when we write the narrative is a point of view. Narratives must always have a point of view. A point of view is who is telling the story. In personal narratives, the story is told in first person, and it uses the pronouns I, me, my, and we. Let's answer the question, guys. You got 30 seconds and go. Let's see who remembers. Okay, got 5 seconds. There's 24 of you.
Johnson.
Yes.
I opened another tab for it, but I can't get it back in the tab.
Okay, Densky. So refresh your screen and try it again, or try with a different email address. I'm not sure what's happening with your connection.
Okay.
Okay. So those of you who said third person, you are correct. The 6 of you who said first person is I, me, and my. Second person, those 7 of you who said second, it is you, and your. Third person is he, she, they, and them. And we normally see narratives written in the first person or the third person. Okay? So come on, guys, let's pay attention. Let's try something else. Which person point of view uses the pronouns I, me, and my? And time. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what happens. It looks like you all performed so much better. Seth, let me know if you're having any issues. Yes, and I just said this, so I don't know where the 6th persons and the 7th person in the third person went. The correct answer is it is the first person. So when a story is told in the first person, you're speaking I, me, my. Read the paragraph below. Which point of view is it written in? Seven of you are not participating. That makes me sad. And time. Okay, let's see what you guys did. So here we have a few of you in the lead. 8 of you said second person and 3 of you said third person. How do we know that this is written in the first person perspective, guys? Hold on.
It
Seth.
has I in it.
It says I.
It says I. That's
I
the easiest
saw.
way. Okay, Seth, what's the issue? And Shanton, what's the problem? Oh, sorry, Seth, what's the problem?
I got kicked out for the last 2 questions. I couldn't
Okay,
do anything.
are you back in?
Yeah, I got back in, but my connection just went out just now for some reason.
Okay, so thank you for letting me know. Now, The next thing that we need to consider is the character. Who is the character that is speaking? Who is telling the story? Okay? A character is a person or being that is in the story playing a part. So characters in a personal narrative can include the narrator and other beings or people in the story. Remember, the narrator, for example, of A Cow Called Boy happens to be Josh Mahon. It's just that he is older, and so he is telling it from his perspective as an older person when he's older in life. He's not telling it as he is a child, okay? So he is the narrator. Let's look at this. Answer the question. A narrative must have characters. All right. We got 22 out of the 26 of you here. And let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening. Okay. A narrative must have characters. Thank you, Lord. Most of y'all get this right. Who this is but false? You need spanking. The three of y'all. Let's try another one. The narrator is not a character in a personal narrative. Is this true or false? Come on, guys. Let's move. Let's move. Let's move. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So the narrator actually is a character. Remember, I said this already. The narrator is a character. 9 of y'all said that he is not a character is true. That is incorrect. And I'm going to need y'all to really, really read the questions before you answer, because I know some of y'all picked true by accident. The truth is the narrator is a character. I need y'all to pay very close attention, please, grade 7. Characters must have physical characteristics, which are descriptions of what they look like, and they must have behavioral characteristics, which is a description of what they behave like. So let's now look at this. I want you to choose all of the correct answers. Choose all of the correct answers. Come on, guys. You got 20 seconds left. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All of the correct answers include dun 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 dun. They are all correct. It's what the character says, it is what the character does, and it's what other characters say in response to the character. So we learn about the character based on what they say. We learn about the character based on what they do, but also other characters interact with another. So what ends up happening is we learn about how the character behaves based on what other characters say. For example, if I said, man, stop touching me. Every day you was come and put this pencil in my ears. Every day. What does that tell you about the character that I'm speaking to?
Angry.
No, the character that I am speaking to.
A behavioral character?
Sorry? They may be bullying.
Character?
Yes, no, but characters always behave a particular way. But what does that tell you about the character?
He's annoying?
He's annoying. Correct. The character is annoying. Okay, and nobody wants annoying characters. Nobody wants to be around somebody annoying. Okay?
Nope.
Okay. So let's continue. The next thing that we need to remember is that we must always name our characters. You have to give the character a name that has meaning. You don't always have to, but if you do, it makes writing it a lot easier. For example, Pirate Pete. This tells us that he is a pirate, and this tells us that his name is Pete. So just by reading his name, we have an idea of how he will behave. Let's look at the character's looks. You can use figurative language to make descriptions of your characters. That way the reader stays interested. For example, his face was a ball with a small olive stuck to its front, and his hair was dirty, looking like wet sand. Sorry, I need to change the slide. So we learned that his face was round and it have a small looking nose, and his hair was sandy brown. I have to correct this slide, okay? So let's look at this right now. Okay, guys, time is up. We should use figurative language to describe a character's look. Yes or no? True or false?
True.
Very, very true. That is correct.
Very true.
Okay, good job. Let's continue. Who does this say false? One spank. Character behavior should be seen in what the character does, in what the character says, and in how other characters describe or work along with the character. Now, this is the second time I say this. Why do you think that I am repeating this? I am repeating this because I really, really, really want y'all to think about when you create your characters, you need to be able to give them things that would help the reader to see, like see with their eyes or see the words that are on the screen. Let's go with the next example. Remember, we're reading, it says choose all the correct options. Good job. Ooh, child. It says the behavior, their words and their behaviors, okay? We don't look at their clothes particularly or their looks, not for this one. So you're doing very well, grade 7. Let's continue. Let's look at Pirate Pete. Now, listen to me carefully. Click the play button on your device. Let me know if the video plays on your device.
The video is playing for my mom.
Yes, ma'am.
It plays and you can hear the audio, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're going to listen, and you're going to listen to the audio now on your device. And let me know when you're done. Let me know when you're done, guys. I heard somebody should be done. I know that sound.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to give you all another 30 seconds, and then we need to move on. Okay, guys, we're going to move on. It's 2:41. We have quite a few more to go, okay? So now, let's talk about dialogue. Dialogue is what is said between two or more characters. When we saw Pirate Pete just now, we found out how we could gain all of the points for describing the characters without having to write 5 or 6 paragraphs, because we're not writing a descriptive essay, we're writing a narrative essay. And Pirate Pete is just one of the characters that we needed to include. Well, when we have more than one character and we need to say who is saying something, we need to introduce something that is called dialogue, okay? Dialogue is a conversation between two or more characters. When we write dialogue, we're doing something important. Let's get everybody together. Is dialogue a conversation? All right, and time is up. Guys, you got to be quick to the draw. Zion is holding on to this lead, boy.
Not
Zion.
safe. That is not safe at all.
Yes, dialogue is a conversation. That is true. You're speaking one person to the next, okay? So there you go. Now, here's tips for writing dialogue. When you write dialogue, you need to remember that how you want the characters to behave. So if your character is someone like Pirate Pete, you want to say, something like, "Arg, I'm Pirate Pete. No, 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 no. Who do you think you are?" Okay? Then you want to remember to use words to show how your character thinks or acts. You want to start each sentence or line of dialogue said by different people, indented and on its own paragraph. So every time somebody says something, you have to put it on its own line and you have to indent. And that tells the reader that it is something special or separate and away from the regular paragraph, okay? Okay, now let's continue. You also need to always use quotation marks. Let's look at it. Let's look at an example. On the screen, you're going to see a slide. You're going to see a comic strip, okay? And they're at Plain Jane's Cafe. And you have to think about it just like how you would think about a comic book. What's wrong, Jin? You looked worried. Then Jin says, well, my sister's coming to visit me this weekend. And if you notice, it goes back and forth. The conversation goes back and forth. Oh, that's great. And then he says, no, no, it isn't. I've spent most of my time studying and working. I don't know what to do in the city. Then she says, I have done lots of stuff in the city. You don't need to be so anxious. And he says, really? You can help? Wow, thank you, Maya. And notice that he only mentions her name now. We'll talk about that in a second. She says, no problem, Jin. I'd be happy to give you some ideas. And he says, okay, let's go. And she says, so does your sister like clubs, bars, concerts, museums, and architecture? Maybe I should do this on my own after all. So the conversation is happening between the two. But if you notice, each of them have their own bubble, and the conversation bounces back and forth between the two. They're taking their time and their turn. Let's look at the way that this would be written in a paragraph. Notice that the first line of dialogue says who is speaking first and what the speaker is doing. This pizza is good, said Wendy with a mouth full. So Wendy speaks first. Then Sue speaks. I have no lunch money, said Sue. You can have a bite of mine. And then right here it says Wendy tore off the crust and handed it to Sue. Sue backed away. Yuck, I don't want to eat crust. Here you go, said Wendy. She added a slice of pepperoni. Thanks, said Sue. It tastes better now. If you want, said Wendy, you can have half my juice. Notice, in this first line here, pizza is good, but Wendy is speaking with her mouth full. This tells us that Wendy is eating on her own. Then Sue say, babe, I ain't got no lunch money. The conversation, everybody look at how Sue's line is on its own line. This is not a paragraph. Then you have Wendy giving Sue a piece of the crust and handing it to her. So you have the spoken line, and then you have the action that is being done. Then we know that Sue doesn't like crust. She didn't even have to say, yuck, I don't want to eat crust. Sue backed away. This is a behavioral characteristic right here. Wendy turns around and she gives her a slice of pepperoni. And then that's nice. So here you have another behavioral characteristic. So you can mix in the behavioral characteristics along with what the children or what your character is doing. But I want you to look at the punctuation. This pizza is good, comma, close quotation. So it starts with an open quote plus whatever's being said by the character, a quote, and then it closes the quotation. Said Wendy with her mouth full. All of this right here is its own sentence, okay? This here is its own sentence. This is its own sentence. These are their own sentences, okay? Is everybody okay? Does everybody understand?
Yes, Mom.
Okay, so make sure that you pay attention to the way that you see it on the screen, because that's how you should model it. Let's go on, guys. Let's see who's paying attention.
Okay, so
Let's go, guys. Mute your mic, please. Should each line of dialogue begin on its own line? Make sure you're paying attention, yes or no. Time is up. Time is up, and the answer happens to be yes, it should. Who says no, it shouldn't? Have you been paying attention? Y'all stop doing this to me. Okay, next question. Okay, we almost there. You got 10 seconds left, guys. 10 seconds. All right, the time is up. So let's look at it. Man, Zion, you let nobody take this lead. Leah's coming for you. Okay, so yes, 14 of you said yes, it should have its own paragraph and it should be indented. And I don't know why 9 of you said no, but we continue. Now, the setting of the narrative. The setting is where and when the story takes place. So we have to remember that. Here are some tips for writing a good setting. Identify the actual date. It could be a season, it could be a special day, the same way that we said in A Cow Called Boy, we say that it is the first day of school. Okay? Okay. Then you need to you need to show the reader where you are. You can use very specific and appropriate details to show the reader the location of the setting. And finally, you need to give the setting a name that gives a clue about where the story is set. So sometimes we would say Bay Street, you know? Other times we would say it's on, it's someplace else. Give it a name. So we are going to continue. Watch this. Everybody, click the video on your device so that you can watch the video. Okay, guys. So, hold on, wait, can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. So, guys, that was how you can create imagery in settings. So, let's see what you remember. Some of y'all still sleeping, eh? 20 seconds. Let's go, guys. 10 seconds. 6 more. You got to answer. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's go, Seth, Janida, Kiwanya, DeAndre, and Zion. Oh, no. What? Zion ain't answer his question? Zion, you letting somebody catch you, eh? Okay, Donacia. Okay, Shelton. Great job. So the answer is true. Let's move on to the next one. Organizing the plot. Now, the plot is a series of events in the story. When we create the plot, it has to also have a conflict. The plot tells a story of how the main character solves the problem or the conflict. The conflict could be an issue with another person or an issue with the environment or nature. It can be an issue with government, organizations, or the character can struggle with themselves. There must always be some type of problem to solve. No matter how big, no matter how small, there has to be a problem that needs to be solved. Let's look at this, guys, and we're almost done, okay? We are almost done for the day. Janelle was hungry, but she was in Mr. Cormore's class and she couldn't eat while there. She also didn't want to have the other kids beg her. She was so busy helping someone else at lunch, she didn't get to eat. Oh boy, what was she going to do? It says, what is the problem that Janelle needs to be solved in this paragraph? Good job, guys. Good job. Okay, guys, 23 out of 27. Who needs the last 35 seconds? Who needs it? Who needs it? School almost out. We have one more slide and then I'm going to stop the presentation here for today. And 20 seconds left. Let's see how you all did. Time. All done. Okay, let's see what we did, guys. Child Zion, you don't want nobody else get points today. Let's see. The correct answer, now the question is, what is the problem that Janelle needs to be solved in this paragraph? And the problem is she was very hungry, okay? Her biggest problem was not that she didn't want to eat in front of the kids. It's not that she missed lunch helping another teacher. That's why she had the problem. Those are why she had the problem. She didn't want to disrupt Mr. Cormore. Her big problem was that she was very hungry, okay? And there's nothing that she can do about it at that time. Now, let's read it again. You're going to have the same story, but a different question. How would you end the story? How would you end the story? And you're just going to type in your answer. That's all you're going to do, and I'm going to read them off onto the screen. I should be able to see your answers pop up. It says, how would you end the story? Read the story and write how she would end the story. Okay, Alex, guys, remember you have to use full and proper sentence structure and capitalization, guys. Wadley, this is not how you should end the story. Guys, we're talking about ending the story, so none of these are exactly what I would like. Thank you, Hathario. She asked the teacher to eat and they allowed her to eat. Okay, she held her hunger and waited until after class to get a snack. That is correct. Zion says she told the teacher that you are to tell the teacher that she's hungry, but then what else? She could ask permission to buy. Grade 7. I said that I want you all to answer the question, right? When I say answer the question, finish the story, you are writing the story the same way that the paragraph is written. So you're going to write in response. So you're going to say, Janelle decided to, and then Taylor would say, ask the teacher to go eat her lunch. Let's see some more responses. Okay. She waited until after school. She asked the teacher if she can have a snack. Remember, you are not writing from your point of view. You are writing as somebody that is watching what Janelle is doing. Very good, Janelle. Janelle went to Mr. Cormore's class and asked him if she could eat. And he let her go and eat. Therefore, Janelle was no longer hungry. Okay, that is the most correct answer. Thank you, Noel. Some grammatical errors there, but we can work on that a little bit later. And time's up with this one. We ended on slide number 35 of 42. I want to say, guys, you have done extremely well today. Check your emails for the links to the homework. If you didn't complete the assignments from English today, they are there. I am marking them by Sunday. If you do not have them completed by Sunday, I will not be allowing an extension. The only person that is going to be allowed that extension is going to be my new student, and I'm trying to remember his name, Justin. So everybody else, make sure that you have your work completed. Study chapters 1 through 3. Chapter 4 and the notes will be posted on the LMS on Monday so that you can read it ahead of time. And I want to say thank you guys so much for all of your hard work. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. And if you did not write the narrative, essay introduction, that link is also in the newsletter. I want you to complete it. It's also in the LMS. So make sure that it is done. I am going to allow everybody to leave to enjoy their Friday. And I want you to come back ready and prepared to work on Monday, okay? Time for me to go eat some food.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Miss Johnson, I do advise you get some Wendy's.
I'm not getting any Wendy's. You just want me to be
For sure.